Chanakya Niti Explained, How India Can Strategically Control Its Neighbors, Arthashastra Secrets. Dive deep into the ancient wisdom of Chanakya's Arthashastra and discover how India can use timeless strategies, Sama, Dana, Beta, Danda, to maintain control, pressure, and influence over its neighbors. Learn the modern geopolitical applications of Chanakya Niti, including diplomacy, psychological warfare, and cyber power. Covered in this video, how to apply Sama, Dana, Beta, Danda today. Mandala theory, friend of the neighbor's neighbor. Psychological and cyber warfare as modern Danda. Chanakya's secret weapon, spies and narrative control. Ancient Vedic strategy meets modern geopolitics. Subscribe for more strategic, Vedic, and geopolitical insights. To maintain control, pressure, and strategic influence over its neighboring countries using Chanakya Niti and the ancient principles of Arthashastra, India can apply the classic Sama, Dana, Beta, Danda framework. 1. Sama, diplomacy and soft power. Objective: win influence through alliances, persuasion, and cultural outreach. Chanakya strategy: use diplomatic missions to build strategic friendships. Leverage Buddhist and Vedic cultural heritage to gain goodwill in Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, etc. Offer humanitarian aid and economic cooperation to maintain soft image. Create dependency via shared economic and infrastructure projects, e.g., energy, water treaties, transport corridors. 2. Dana, strategic gifts, aid. Objective: bind nations through mutual interest. Chanakya strategy: give military aid or training to weaker allies, e.g., Bhutan, Maldives. Invest in infrastructure and technology transfers in neighboring nations. Buy loyalty of key leaders, parties, or factions within the target country. 3. Bheda, divide and rule. Objective: exploit internal divisions to reduce unity and resistance. Chanakya strategy: support dissenting groups, ethnic, linguistic, political, inside rival states, e.g., Baluch, Sindhis in Pakistan, Tibetans in China. Media psyops to expose corruption, rights violations, and weaknesses of hostile neighbors. Use cyber influence and narrative warfare to shape perception. Break regional unity by isolating allies of a target country. 4. Danda, force, deterrence. Objective: create fear and respect through strength. Chanakya strategy: maintain a strong military presence along critical borders, conduct surgical strikes or deterrent operations when red lines are crossed. Use covert operations, cyber units, to destabilize hostile powers quietly. Flex nuclear, missile capability for strategic pressure. Supplementary Arthashastra techniques. A Mandala theory, circle of states, view neighbors as potential enemies, and neighbors of neighbors as friends. Strengthen alliances with nations like Vietnam, Japan, or Mongolia to counterbalance China. Use proxy states or buffer zones for indirect influence. B. Espionage and secret agents. Gudapurusha, deploy spies disguised as traders, monks, scholars in neighboring nations. Gather intel, destabilize, or sow confusion from within. Create shadow alliances with military or political insiders of rival states. Endgame vision: digital plus Dharma-based Chanakya strategy. Combine AI, cyber power, media warfare with Vedic values. Promote Bharat as a dharmic Vishwaguru, spiritual guide, while maintaining a strategic sword. Use public diplomacy and economic carrots to keep neighbors leaning toward Indian influence, not China or others. For centuries, India has lived surrounded by powerful neighbors. But over 2,000 years ago, a master strategist named Chanakya, or Kautilya, gave India a timeless guide, Arthashastra, to control, influence, and defend its interests. Today, we decode how India can apply Chanakya Niti to shape its neighborhood. Sama, diplomacy. Win hearts through cultural and diplomatic outreach. Engage with Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka. Offer respect, earn trust. Build soft power through history, language, and shared spiritual roots. Dana, strategic giving. Invest in neighbors. Build roads, offer military training, share technology. But remember, every gift must deepen India's influence. Beta, divide. Find fault lines in enemy camps. Use psychological warfare, digital operations, and diplomacy to exploit internal divisions in hostile states. Danda, force. Strength speaks. Maintain a visible and credible military presence. Use covert operations when required. Let fear maintain peace. Chanakya's mandala theory teaches, the enemy's enemy is your friend. India must form smart alliances with the neighbors of its rivals, Vietnam, Mongolia, even Central Asia, to encircle threats like China. The invisible hand of espionage must operate silently. Agents, cyber cells, and narrative warriors should work day and night to protect Bharat's interests. This is modern digital dharma, a blend of Vedic wisdom and cutting-edge technology.